Professor Lam. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'll just say more specifically about one of the courses I teach, because it's a compulsory course, which means that every English major, once entering into our program, will have to take it. And it's actually the very first English Literary Studies course. So as soon as you enter into our program, actually you're going to see me there welcoming you. All right? So this course is called Introduction to Literature. And just now, Professor Lam has already mentioned, don't feel worried, because I know a lot of you have not studied literature in your secondary school. So this course that I teach, Introduction to Literature, does not assume any prior knowledge. All right? So feel, rest assured, really, we're going to start really very slowly, and the course is going to start with very, very short texts. Something that you'll be able to finish on your MTR ride, something like that. But of course, I also realize there are some of you who are interested in literature and who have a little bit of English literary studies background. So the course will have something very challenging for you too, because around the middle of the term, the speed will pick up a little bit and we'll read slightly longer pieces. So in a way, the course is trying to strike a balance between people coming from different backgrounds, and students will be very interactive with each other, and they're going to be very supportive to each other as well. What do we study in this course? We're going to actually divide the course into 3 parts according to the 3 main types of literature: fiction, and then poetry, and then drama. So we're going to start with some very short text, short stories, moving on to poems, and finally finishing up the whole course with plays. The whole course is actually going to end up with a comedy. So I always said, this course is going to have a happy ending, all right? So that's the general idea of the course. And in every class, what we're going to deal with are basically 2 aspects. One is literary terms and concepts. The other is close reading of a specific text. So by learning literary terms and concepts, you're going to have the vocabulary and terminology to talk about literature, to express your ideas about literature, to speak about it and to write about it. And more importantly, it's about this very careful, very detailed reading of specific literary texts. And this course is trying to give you a wide range of texts. We're going to read a very, very old text, an ancient Greek play. We're going to look at one poem by Shakespeare, but we're also going to look at some more recent texts written in this century. Okay, so a kind of a taste of little bit of everything. That's what this course is trying to do. And really, I think the question you want to ask yourself is, why should we bother with literary studies? Because I'm sure you've heard a lot of people telling you, literature is quite useless. Well, literature is useless in a sense, but it's useless because we can enjoy it without any sort of, what this might be for, really. That's one thing. And I also want to say a few things about why literature can also be useful in another kind of perspective. Now, one thing about literature is that it's written in a very powerful, very precise language. So by very careful and very detailed reading, close reading of the text, you will actually sharpen your sense of the language, of English language itself. And gradually, by reading literature, you will become more effective user of English. So in that respect, it's very useful, okay? Another thing very, very useful about studying literature is that you will think that you're only looking at a very short poem or a very short story, but there will be a lot behind this text. There will be a lot of historical context behind this, and you'll also be exposed to some central ideas right at the heart of Western cultural tradition. And in that sense, you're not simply, learning this particular piece. You're being exposed to a much wider range of ideas about Western civilization. So I think in that sense, it's also very, very useful. And some of our students have also talked about how by studying with us, you can also reflect upon how to become a proper university student and how to become, in a way, a human being, what it means to be a human being. And I think by studying literature, really, we are trying to become more sensitive and more sympathetic human beings. So really, that's what this course will start, leading you into this world. If you think about that metaphor of the home that this department is trying to make you feel, then I'm going to be that usherer, okay, to lead you into this home. Think about it and apply to us, come to study with us, and I'll be there to welcome you in the very first semester. Thank you.